741 crore passengers, 1,670 million tons of freight, 80,000 crore rupees in passenger revenue. Indian Railways has just delivered one of its strongest operational performance in recent years. But behind these impressive numbers lies a much bigger question. Can Indian Railways actually achieve its long term vision? Or is India approaching the limits of railway growth? Because the next decade may decide whether Indian Railways become the backbone of India's logistic economy or permanently lose ground to road transport. This is Search Pulse, and today we break down what Indian Railways financial year 2025-26 performance really means. When most of the people look at railway performance, they focus on passenger numbers. But railways are much more than trains carrying people. Indian Railways is one of the world's largest transport networks, moving passengers, freight, industry, agriculture, and increasingly supporting India's economic growth. Financial year 2025-26 delivered some major signals. Passenger traffic reached 741 crore passengers, a growth of 3.54%. Passenger revenue crossed 80,000 crore, growing even faster at nearly 6%. Freight loading reached 1,670 million tons, another record. At first glance, everything looks excellent. But once we look deeper into the numbers, the real story begins. Let us start with freight. Freight loading increased by 3.25%, but freight revenue increased only by 1.44%. The difference tells us something important. Indian Railways is transporting more goods but earning proportionally less revenue. Why? Three major reasons. First, the commodity mix is changing. Growth is increasingly coming from low tariff bulk commodities. Second, average transport distance are reducing. And third, Indian Railways is intentionally pricing more competitively to attract cargo away from roads. This is not necessarily bad news. In fact, this appears to be a strategic decision. Indian Railways is shifting focus from maximizing revenue per ton towards maximizing market share. And this is becoming especially important after the development of dedicated freight corridors. The goal is becoming clear: move more cargo, capture logistic demand, become economically indispensable. Passenger numbers also tell an interesting story. Passenger traffic grew by 3.54%, but passenger revenue grew almost 6%, which means revenue is growing faster than ridership. But what is driving this? Premium services, more high value trains, higher AC class occupancy, dynamic pricing, Tatkal demand, and more long distance travel. Services like Vande Bharat and other premium categories are slowly changing the economics of passenger operations. Indian Railways appear to be shifting from a volume first passenger model towards a revenue oriented passenger business. And this shift could become increasingly important for future investments. Now comes the difficult part. India's National Rail Plan has ambitious goals. Increase rail freight share from around 27% to 45%. Reach freight loading of 3,000 million tons. Increase passenger capacity and increase speed. But here's the reality. Current freight loading is 1,670 million tons. To reach the target, Indian Railways has to almost double its freight movement. And this cannot happen simply by building more tracks. Track expansion alone is not enough. More locomotives are not enough. More wagons are not enough. a much bigger transformation is needed. The future of Indian railways may no longer depend on railways. It depends on logistics. To achieve National Rail Plan targets, Indian railways need full utilization of dedicated freight corridors, better port connectivity, expansion of cargo terminals, integration with logistics park, containerization of cargo, faster loading and unloading systems, digital freight operations, guaranteed transit time services, parcel and e-commerce logistics. This is where the biggest shift happens. Indian Railways must stop thinking only like a railway operator and start operating like a logistics company. That may become the defining transformation of the next decade. Financial year 2025-26 shows that Indian Railways is moving in the right direction. Passenger demands remain strong, freight volume continue growing, infrastructure investments are accelerating, but growth alone won't guarantee success. Execution will. The next decade may decide whether Indian Railways become India's logistic backbone or watches freight gradually move to highways. What do you think? Can Indian Railways realistically achieve the National Rail Plan targets? Tell us in the comment below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow railway enthusiasts, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Search Pulse for more insights on railways, infrastructure, and future of mobility. See you in the next video.